So since starting my business, I bought out a partner. I merged the company with another company. I bought out another partner. I was hacked by hackers overseas, and that nearly lost the business as a result of that. I subsequently bought a new business and sold my business. So EO, over the course of those 14 years or so, EO had a huge impact in terms of helping me overcome a lot of these big hurdles that I might not have done so well without my peers and the global learning and the regional learning and so on. Here's something most people don't know about EO. EO has a great podcast called EO 360. Phenomenal host, great guests if you're interested in learning more about entrepreneurship and getting a little motivation while you're driving in your car. EO 360 is a great podcast. Well, one of the things I love about the podcast, to be completely frank, I'm the host. So I love, I don't do this to record a great show for the listeners. I actually do this because I have a sincere interest in our guests. And so every guest has a unique story. I love to hear the story. For me, it's motivating. And for me, it's to hear somebody's unique story about how they went from nothing to creating something. That it's always something I can pull out of those stories. And sometimes they're just purely entertaining. One thing I would advise myself to do, if I could go back in time, I started a very conservative path. I left school, got a job, went to grad school, got another job. I was straight on my path to middle management. It was when I was 30 and I was laid off, when I was fired, let's just call it what it is. When I was fired, I started a business. If I could go back, I would have told myself to bite the bullet and start that business a little bit earlier. The sooner the better. When I was working in corporate, I wasn't thriving. I was doing okay, but I wasn't thriving. I was adjusting to meet the demands of the requirements around me. And I found that when I was able to create those requirements, when I was the one actually creating this environment where I could work, that's where I started to thrive. So for me, if I started entrepreneurship, if I found EO earlier, it would have been a sign that I've certainly have found a place where I can thrive. I went to EO GLC in Thailand. And that was an amazing event. I mean, it brought me out of my cocoon. I mean, I like to travel, but I don't think I would have gone to Thailand if it wasn't for an event like this. And not only did we go to Thailand, but there were some organized events where it definitely took me out of my comfort zone, where I could interact with Bengal tigers and elephants, and we went on a canal tour and saw the real core of Thailand. It was an amazing trip. Not only that, but we learned a lot about business and how to be a great leader. GLC is a global leadership conference, and EO has a global leadership conference every year for board members that are going to run their chapter operations. And so as a board member, I was and continue to be a learning chair for our chapter. And at this global leadership conference, they teach you a lot of the intricacies around running a great program in your particular track. So for me, it was the learning chair. For others, it might be the presidency. For some, it might be the treasury. For others, it might be a membership chair. But every one of these chairs has a track where you go down this path and how to run a great organization with that direction. Because of EO, I found my people. Prior to EO, I'd meet entrepreneurs sporadically. I'd have neighbors. But most of the people that I met, like my neighbors, might work at Fidelity or State Street. They'd commute into Boston. They'd leave at 5 in the morning. They'd get back at 7 at night. And for me, meeting other entrepreneurs was like meeting a very tight-knit group of people before I even knew their names. Just knowing they were an entrepreneur, I knew oftentimes they thought like I did. They had the same perspectives, the same challenges. I should say similar perspectives and similar challenges. But it was finding my people where I could exchange ideas, with a common group of people, completely diverse worldwide, but with common philosophies and perspectives of business and life.